Sugar beet harvest is wrapping up.
Hi, Eric Gentner with Gentner-Bischer Farms. We're in Minden City, Michigan, and we're in sugar beet harvest.
The Ag Commission now has 2 members from the Upper Peninsula, and Michigan Agricultural Commodities Chris Betz will join us with a market update. I'm Janelle Brose, and this is Farm News 5.
Farm News 5 is brought to you by Ford.
Sugar beet harvesting is finishing up around the state. The crop is expected to produce 4.8 million tons of beets in Michigan. And we jumped in the cab with Eric Gentner of Gentner-Bischer Farms of Minden while he was harvesting.
We're in a Ropa Tiger 5. They're made in Germany, so this is a self-propelled beet harvester that defoliates, digs, cleans the sugar beets all in one pass. The weather's been very favorable for harvest. We've had really nice temperatures. We did have a frost delay the other day, which the sugar company will shut us down if the temperatures get too cold at night to dig beets, mainly for putting sugar beets into a pile at too cold of a temperature. But other than that, the weather's been very favorable, not too much rain or anything, so been good going. Yields have been right on par with what we were looking for. Happily surprised with what we found with the dry summer, and looking ahead, looking good. Digging a field of Beta 1690s, which is a newer variety out. A lot of varieties that we're looking at now have more of a disease package to them, where we're looking for resistance, natural resistance to certain diseases that have been a problem in the past with controlling. Our beets out of the harvester are put into a cart, which makes a pile on the end of the field, and then those beets are picked up a couple of days later by a machine called a mouse, which cleans the beets again and loads them into a truck, and those trucks head directly to the factory. Michigan Sugar is a farmer-owned co-op, so that means that every person that growing sugar beets is part of that co-op. Our sugar beets go to Caro, the Caro factory, where they made the sugar only a couple days after harvest. Grew up in the sugar beet fields as a kid with mom and dad and grandma and grandpa and everybody out there. Now it's my sister and I and my stepdad and my mom, and technology has come a long way in the sugar beet harvest industry, and a lot different, a lot smaller crews out doing, the same work that it used to take quite a few people to do, and now have cut the labor crews down quite a bit.
The Wisconsin Department of Agriculture, Trade, and Consumer Protection confirmed a Dane County, Wisconsin dairy herd has tested positive for bovine tuberculosis. Following sample testing by National Veterinary Services Laboratory, the carcass was traced back using animal identification records, and the Dane County herd was immediately quarantined. The quarantine prevents any animals from moving on or off the farm. Wisconsin has been certified as TB-free since 1980, and with a thorough investigation and containment of an outbreak, the state will maintain its TB-free status with USDA. For the first time in its history, the Commission of Agriculture and Rural Development will have 2 members from the Upper Peninsula. Menominee County Farm Bureau member Charlie Meintz and Hiawatha Land Farm Bureau member Patricia Bergdahl have been selected to serve on the state's 5-member commission. Both will serve 4-year terms expiring December 31st, 2022.
Time to renew your land lease? Review Foster Swift's guide to land lease agreements at fosterswift.com.
The Fruit and Vegetable Industry Advisory Committee has recently been reestablished, and a representative of Michigan's cherry industry will have a seat at the table. Julie Gordon, CFO and Export Marketing Director at Cherry Marketing Institute, is one of 24 individuals appointed by Ag Secretary Sonny Perdue. The purpose of the committee is to examine issues facing the fruit and vegetable industry and provide recommendations to the Secretary on how USDA can tailor its programs to better meet the industry's needs. With a look at the latest market activity, here is Michigan Ag Commodities Chris Betz.
Thanks, Janelle. The big mover of the week came in the form of a tweet Thursday from President Trump saying he had a long and very good conversation with the President of China, Xi Jinping. The tweet went on to say the conversation had a heavy emphasis on trade and that the two will meet at the G20 summit in Argentina. Chinese news on Thursday seemed to confirm positive talks between the two leaders as well. Fund money latched onto the news, giving global equities a boost on speculation that an end of the trade dispute between the U.S. and China could be in sight. Soybeans, of course, are the biggest benefactor of such speculation, as the January contract jumped as much as 38 cents higher on Thursday. Trade will be focused on next week's midterm elections, which will have big implications on trade negotiations moving forward. For more market information, go to MichAg.com. With Michigan Agricultural Commodities, I'm Chris Betz.
For more news and video, visit MichiganFarmNews.com and the Michigan Farm Bureau channel on YouTube. With Farm News 5, I'm Janelle Brose. Have a great week of farming.